Hello everyone, welcome to my first video. So as this is the first video, I'm keeping it to Excel only. What we will do here is, this is a data of COVID deaths. This I downloaded from WHO website. You can also get it, or else I'll post it on my GitHub also. So this is the data of COVID deaths. What we are going to do here is, we are going to analyze this data, and that too only on Excel. I'll just take you through the whole analysis process. How do we do it? What shortcuts we can use in Excel? That's it. Yes. So let's start. First thing, when you always start data analysis, is going through the data, understanding the data first. So let's go through the columns once. So this is ISO code of the location provided. This is the continent, and the location are the countries. Then the date. This date is of these are the total cases, new cases. So this date is at what date this case arrived. Okay. Okay, and then new cases of COVID, new cases smooth. So new cases smooth is 7-day average, rolling average of new cases. That means average number of new deaths per day over the last 7 days. पिछले 7 दिन में कितना average हुआ है? That is new cases smooth. Total deaths, new deaths smooth. Then total cases per million पे कितने cases हैं? New cases per million, new cases smooth per million, total deaths per million, new deaths per million. These all are easy columns, so I don't have to explain it to you. Reproduction rate, ICU patients कितने हैं per million, कितना है hospital patients कितने हैं per million, कितना है weekly ICU admissions कितने हैं per million, weekly hospital admissions कितने हैं per million, कितने new tests, total tests per thousand, new test per thousand, new test smooth and per thousand, positive rate, test per case, test unit, total vaccinations, people vaccinated. ये है कि कितने वैक्सीनेशंस किए हैं और कितने लोग वैक्सीनेट हुए हैं. इसका मतलब अलग अलग क्यों है? जैसे इफ दे हैव वैक्सीनेटेड 1 person थ्राइस, तो यहाँ पे 3 होगा बट यहाँ पे 1 ही होगा. People fully vaccinated, new vaccination smooth. So there are a lot of columns: stringency index, population density, median age कितना है. Then they have given ages also, 65 older कितना है, 70 older. Then GDP per capita. So GDP per capita is the average income per person in a country. तो उसको हम देखते हैं फिर कैसे कंपेयर करें. We can compare it with vaccinations. Let's see. Poverty, then cardiovascular death rate, diabetes prevalence, female smokers कितनी थी उसमें, male smokers, hand washing facility, hospital beds, life expectancy, and human development index. So we have seen all the columns. Now what we have to do is, अभी we just understood the column names. Now you have seen यहाँ पे in some columns there were no values here. Then you will think कि इसमें तो values ही नहीं है. How do we analyze these columns? क्यों डालें? So for that, what you can do, first thing, I'm moving the cursor here. This going to from one cell to another through arrows, like left arrows, right arrows. Then if you want to go to the first column directly, so use control and then left arrow. Then if you want to go right, control right arrow. Then same with down and up. So control के साथ if you will use arrows, and it will take you to extreme right, extreme left. This was the first shortcut. Now if you want to see कि ये actually इसमें data है भी या नहीं, so one thing is आप ऐसे you can go to control down, or ऐसे you can go down, you can check. But what I would suggest is adding the filter and then looking at it. So filter का shortcut है Alt DFF. Now I'll tell you one thing. अभी भी if you don't know the shortcut, what you can do is just press Alt. Now you will see here all the shortcut keys. So हमको जैसे we wanted filter, what we did, Alt H. H से we came to home. Then we have to go to D. D you can see here. D F. So sorry, we have to do it together. Alt DFF. ठीक है, Alt DFF. This is the shortcut for filter. ठीक है, अभी filter ऐड करने के बाद what you should do, you should look from the drop down. So you will see all the values whatever is here. तो उसके लिए what is the shortcut, Alt and down. Okay, and then you can go down and see how many countries data they have and what are the locations they provided. To close this you can use escape, then go right, and then you can see यहाँ पे भी where there was no data, you can just go here, then Alt down. Here you will see that there is data in some cells. Okay, ठीक है, तो Alt DFF फिर से हमने filter हटा दिया. What we have to do is to analyze the data in Excel. The best way is making the pivot table. once you'll make a pivot, तो उससे you can summarize the data easily. How to make a pivot? So the manual process would be like insert में you have pivot table. यहाँ से you can add, and then if you want to if you have any existing worksheet where you want to keep it, you can select this. I'm selecting new worksheet, then okay. ठीक है, I tell you the shortcut also. First select the whole data. For selecting the whole data, I'm using Control Shift right first, then Control Shift down. So this is how you can select the whole data. For selecting anything together, you have to use Shift with Control everywhere. Like if you want to select this whole row, so Control Shift right, and you can select the whole row. Now there is one more thing. If you want to select one whole column, अभी हमने select किया है तो जहाँ तक data है वहीं तक select हो. But if you want to select the whole column, एक column मुझे पूरा select करना है या first row मुझे पूरी select करनी है. So what I can do for the column, you have to use Control Space Bar. तो इससे क्या होगा कि पूरा एक column select हो जाएगा. And if you want to select the whole row, what you have to do is Shift Space Bar. In both the cases, you have to use space bar. इसमें control use होगा for column, and for rows you have to use shift. Okay, so now pivot हमने we have created the pivot. Now if you want to go to sheet 1, there's one more shortcut for this. This is control function and up and down key. Yeah, so you can use that and go to sheet 1. Now we'll do our analysis. Now how pivot works is we have to add some values in rows, we have to add some values in column, or we have to add values in values. अभी how do we understand कि क्या हमको कहाँ पे डालना है? Suppose in this data, if you want to understand that how many total cases are there in location wise, how many total cases we have location wise. What you have to now you understood the problem. First, always the first step is you have to understand what is the problem situation. So now you understood that you want location wise new cases or total cases. Let's take total cases first. Location wise total cases. ठीक है, we what we need here. अभी इसको just एक बार first visualize it कि how you want it. तो कैसे होगा ये? Like in a column you need the location name and उसके सामने you need total cases. So इसका मतलब हुआ in the rows you will add location. Okay, and in values, because you want total cases in front of the location, so in values you will add the total cases. When you add this, it will take count sum of total cases automatically. Okay, if you want to change it, you can use this arrow, you can use value field settings, you can use count if you want to. इसमें तो नहीं, we can't use it, but sometimes this happens. If you want to see the average, if you want to see maximum minimum, there are a lot of options you can use. Now we have used sum. Okay, now if what this we got how many total cases location wise we have. Okay, now what you have to do is, for looking at this data you will not understand anything. What you have to do is you have to sort it first. Okay, for sorting what you have to do, alt down, I'm using shortcut here, and you have more sort options here, and you can sort it descending, and that too sum of total cases wise. Now you see here that this is the total of world, then this is the total by these locations. Okay, so here we can see in the whole Asia, obviously Asia whole, if it is taken like in Europe they had the largest cases, then North America, then Asia, US, and then there are some locations where there are no cases of COVID, which is a very good thing. Okay, now what I would suggest, if there is any number or something, you should use comma so that it will be segmented properly and you will understand the if it is in lakhs, crores easily. So for that, what I would suggest is just in home section only you'll get this comma separator. But now what you have to do is, abhi isme this change the number to accounting digits. What you can do is you can just if you want you can do it number, and then you can remove zeros from here. Okay, so we did it custom because we removed the zero, so now it is a custom format. Now you would be able to understand that what is the exact total cases. Okay. In this way we can create different pivots, like if we want to see how many new cases are there, and if we want to see that monthly or yearly, so what we will do, let's make the pivot again. This time with shortcuts, select the data, control shift right and control shift down, and Alt and V. Okay, now you got it. We can make it to existing worksheet, so you can use Alt E for that. Now go to location. Let's keep it here. Okay, done. So if you want to see the total cases date wise, and that too with location, so adding rows first, then हमको चाहिए date wise, so we'll just put this date here and then total cases and values. Okay, so what we got here is we got year wise how much total cases we had. This again you can sort, sort option, sending. Just change the layout for better understanding. I'm doing this. You can see year wise, and when you will expand this you can see quarterly. When you will expand it more you can see monthly as well. So if you want to see in the whole world on which month in 2020 we got highest total cases, so it was March. Then if you want to see in first quarter, that was March. In quarter 2 if you want to see, so it was June. Obviously the cases were rising, so last month of the quarter is highest. Then you can expand 2021 also. So this is how you do it with two parameters together. Here in this we use one parameter only, location, and then we just added the values. Here in this we use two parameters, location and rows. Now if you want to let's do one more. I'm just copying the same pivot because so that we don't have to do the whole process of selecting the data and then doing everything again. So what we can do, we can just copy and paste it here. And now if you want to see location, but you also want to see the continent of that location. So you want कौन से continent में है, and then what is the location. So what you can do is take continent and put it above location. Now what we will get here is Africa में, in Africa how many countries are there, like how many countries of Africa we have. So this will be segmented continent wise and then location wise. You can see it here. Now again if you want to add date you can put it in the columns. See, this is, in this way you can see you can use three parameters. You can use as many you want in the rows. You can just add, like if you want to see the new cases, if you want to see the total deaths, if you want to compare, we can compare the total cases versus total deaths, so that we will understand that how many deaths are there per case. Then if you want to see that if you want to see population, we can do it like we can take the population and per capita, and then we can do it with vaccination. Like we can take vaccination and per capita, like we can see richer countries vaccinate more people, ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है. We can see a lot of trends through this pivot only. There are a lot of trends which we can see. Okay, so I'll be stopping here. Now it would be your work to do more analysis on that. I'll be sharing this data. I'll be putting the link in the description. You can take the data from there. And yeah, if there is any doubt or anything, you can directly reach out to me on LinkedIn. So yes, okay, thank you.